ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सतं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। हरि बोल। Thank you everyone for joining. Let's start with the invocation prayer of Sri Isopanishad. So Sri Isopanishad, as you know, this is one of the 108 Upanishads. Actually, it's one of the foremost Upanishads. It is part of Yajurved, and this Ishopanishad is one of the shortest one, and it gives a very deep knowledge into the understanding of the Supreme Lord, into the understanding of the absolute truth. So Prabhupada has translated Ishopanishad as the knowledge that brings one near to the Isha, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So this Sri Ishopanishad was not written by Prabhupada as such, but if you know, Prabhupada started a magazine even before he came to US. Some of you were probably getting it to your home. I know Nirbhay Prabhu used to get it at his home. And this magazine was called Back to Godhead magazine. Okay. BTG, Back to Godhead. This was actually the most important source of income in the early days of ISKCON, when they had no, donations and no income coming from anywhere, and Prabhupada had not translated enough books to sell. So at that time, Back to Godhead was a major source of income and still continues to be. But Back to Godhead, it's a very beautiful magazine. We get it at our home. If anybody is interested, I'll bring to our next program so all of you can see the last few editions of Back to Godhead magazine. So Prabhupada started that magazine in 1944. Imagine, so long ago, even before independence, 1944. So he used to write various articles about, from Vedas. He would take verses and he would translate them, and he would write purports on them in Back to Godhead magazine. So this Sri Ishopanishad is actually all those articles that Prabhupada wrote in Back to Godhead magazine and was put together by disciples, because they were purports to all the verses. Prabhupada had mercifully given purport to all the 18 mantras, including the invocation, not including the invocation, so 19 total verses of Sri Ishopanishad. Okay, and this was later compiled into this book of Sri Ishopanishad. So is everybody familiar that there are two aspects of Vedas, two types of knowledge? One is called Shruti and the other is called Smriti.
Yes, Mataji.
Right? So Shruti and Smriti. Can somebody give an example of a Smriti? What is it? What does it mean? What does Shruti mean and what does Smriti mean? So Shruti means the knowledge that is heard, right?
Yes.
Heard. Okay. And Smriti means, so this is heard from Supreme Lord, or from directly coming down from Supreme Lord. Okay. Smriti means, like, for example, one of the examples of Smriti is Srimad Bhagavatam or any Puranas. Okay? Any Puranas, yeah. So yes, Mataji, you want to say, like, what is Smriti?
Mataji, so yeah, Shruti means anything which you're hearing from like anybody. And Smriti is more from the Vedas, like whatever it's concrete, whatever you're reading from the Granthas and the like, whatever you're reading from or listening from Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, that's more Smriti.
हाँ, so your understanding is correct. A little bit opposite है थोड़ा. Shruti is more concrete because Shruti is coming from Vedas
Directly from
directly.
Krishna. Yeah,
From
that's what I wanted
Krishna.
to just mention, that it's from Krishna, not just from anybody. It's from Krishna, from the God himself, from the mouth of the God itself.
So the knowledge that comes directly from the mouth of God, from Supreme Lord. So like Vedas, 4 Vedas are all Shrutis, है ना? Similarly, all 108 Upanishads are Shrutis, okay? But Puranas are Smriti, because Puranas are the stories, है ना? Puranas are the case studies, the examples of what has happened in the past, in our past. These are our histories. So, for example, Mahabharata is a Smriti, Ramayana is a Smriti, Puranas, all Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam, 18 Puranas are there. All 18 Puranas are Smritis. Okay. So now, what is Bhagavad Gita? Is Bhagavad Gita a Shruti or a Smriti? What do most people call it, and what is our understanding what it is?
Shruti. Bhagavad Gita is Shruti.
Why do you say that?
Because it comes directly from Krishna.
Okay, 100% right. So it is Shruti. But also, Bhagavad Gita is part
Anyone
of...
wants to say Smriti?
Anyone
for Smriti?
Yes, I would say Smriti. I think it's both. Smriti too.
Why do you
Very
say
well.
Smriti?
But again, because it's like it's a Purana, right? So it will fall into that category also.
It is
But
an
it should,
Upanishad. It is an Upanishad. Gita
yeah.
Upanishad
So,
होते हैं ना? It is a Gita
yeah,
Upanishad.
Upanishad. So it will fall under the. If it's an Upanishad, it will fall into the Smriti category. But again, if we say Shruti, it's coming from the God's mouth, so that's fall under Shruti. So
नहीं Mataji, let me clarify again. So Upanishads are all Shruti. Okay, Vedas
okay.
and Upanishads are all Shrutis. Puranas are Smriti. Mahabharata and Ramayana is also Smriti. Bhagavad Gita is both. Because it is part of Mahabharat, so think of anything that's a story will typically be Smriti. ठीक है ना? हम याद करते हैं ना, once upon a time, है ना? याद करके बोलते हैं. So Smriti, ऐसे you can remember. So Mahabharat, since it's part of Mahabharat, it's Smriti. But since it's spoken by the Lord himself and it is considered an Upanishad, it is a Shruti. So it is both Shruti and Smriti. Many scholars like to categorize it as Smriti falsely because it is part of Mahabharat. And Mahabharat is long, it's huge. Mahabharat is 100,000 verses, whereas Bhagavad Gita is only 700 verses. So इसलिए they like to categorize it as Smriti, but our Acharyas have told us that it is both Shruti and Smriti. Anyway, the Sri Ishopanishad that we are starting today is a Shruti because it is one of the Upanishads. Okay, so that is just a basic understanding of various. So Shruti is always, Mataji, more authoritative. It has more authoritative tone. It is the knowledge that which is heard and is a primary revelation from Krishna, primary revelation from the Supreme God. Smriti is more like recollections, case studies, stories, you know? So all Puranas are Smritis. So they have a suggestive tone. They're not very authoritative. Like they will not say, do this for sure, right? They will say, if you do this, you know, you will get this benefit. So it's like a suggestive tone. Huh? Whereas Shrutis are more authoritative tone. You have to do this. You should do this. So Vedas are like that, more authoritative. You know, like niyams, instructions are given directly. But in Smritis, typically in Puranas, indirect suggestions are given because Prahlad did this, you should also do this. You know, it is recommended that if you want to follow in footsteps of Prahlad, then you do this. So it's a recommendation. It's like a suggestion. It's not very forceful. Okay. But let's start with the invocation. And please, as many people can recite will be good. And whoever can memorize this verse by next time will also be good. This is the invocation prayer, very, 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 very commonly cited and very beautiful if you see the Sanskrit. But I'll tell you the meter. So this is how it goes. Om Purnam Mada Purnam Midam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om. Everybody start. Om Purnam Mada
Om
Purnam Midam
Purnamadam
idam
Purnat
Purnat
Purnam
Purnam
Udachyate
Udachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnam
Purnamadaya
Adaya
Purnam eva
Purnam
vashishyate.
eva vashishyate.
Let's keep going in a loop. Om
Om
Ada
Purnamada
Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat
Purnam
Purnam
Udachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnam
Purnam
Adaya
Adaya
Purnam
Purnam
Eva
Eva
Vashishyate.
Vashishyate
Om
Om
Purnam Ada
Purnamada Purnamidam
Purnat
Purnam
Purnam
Udachyate
Udachyate
Purnasya Purnam
Adaya
Adaya
Purnam
Purnam Eva
Eva
Vashishyate.
Vashishyate. Anyone wants to
Om.
recite?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's keep reciting one after another, whoever wants to recite. Please
I
go
can
ahead.
say. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om.
Keep going.
Om Purnam Ida Purnam Idam Purnatya Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Om
Om Purnamada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om.
Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om.
Om Purnam Adaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasyate. Om.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Very good. Anyone wants to recite from memory?
We can read it only just.
You want to recite? Hold on.
Yes. Om Purnam Ada Purnam Ida Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashyate. Om.
Who else? Is somebody remaining? Okay. Yeah, please try to memorize this. Very beautiful verse. You can see the word Purnam. Purnam being used so many times. So it's not Purnam, it's Purnam. But in one place it's Purnat. Purnat. When A has this marking on it, it becomes A, not A. Otherwise it's A, Purnam. And Na is like Na, Purnam. And just small things if you can remember. If not, that's fine. Anyone wants to read the translation, and we will also read the full purport. So we'll read one paragraph each. Someone wants to read this? Please be ready to read so that we can keep flowing with the class.
I can read.
Yes. I think everyone will get a chance to read. So please, yeah, just take turns and keep going.
The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as his phenomenal word, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. So this word will keep repeating itself, Purnam, which means perfect and complete. So Om Purnam Adha. Adha means that person. So that person is completely perfect. He's Purna. Like we say, na, Purn Purushottam Bhagwan. So he's completely perfect. He's whole, complete whole. Purnam Idam. And this world, this phenomenal world, is also complete, perfectly complete. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From one complete comes another complete. So from this one complete whole, which is Supreme Lord, many emanations are coming. They are also all complete wholes. From Purnat, Purna se Purna paida hota hai. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnam Adaya. And whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. And even though many completes come from a complete whole, the complete whole still remains in complete balance. Purnam eva vashishyate, meaning there is nothing deducted from the complete whole. So complete whole never loses anything. Okay. So even though something, a whole comes out of a completely perfect things comes out of the Purnam, the completely whole, still remains completely whole. So it's like, when we do maths, we say, oh, 2 minus 1 is 1, right? Yeah, 4 minus 2 is 2. So something gets deducted from 4, right? So when something comes out of something, it will become reduced. So if there are 4 apples and I take 2 apples out, then there will be only 2 remaining. So which means that that was not a complete whole because it got reduced. Okay. But this maths is different. This maths is infinity minus infinity is still infinity. This is the maths we have to learn. Okay, so the maths of eternity, when we talk about Supreme Person, when we talk about divinity, he's not a limited number. His number is infinity. He will always be, if we had to represent Supreme in a mathematical terms, we will represent him with infinity. So infinity, and this world is also infinite. So infinity minus infinity is still infinity. Or it's not just this world, but whatever comes out of the Supreme Lord is completely whole, whether it's his energies, whether it's us jivas, whether it's this world, this phenomenal world, everything is complete in itself. And when that complete comes out from another complete, the original person, the Adi Purush, the Supreme Person, still remains complete. So this is the maths we have to understand. He's still infinite. Okay. So now there are many things about this that we have to understand. So let's start reading. Who wants to read the first paragraph? I thought to change the style instead of like
I can read.
was just giving a class. This time I thought we'll read the purports since we are just covering verse a class. Let's read. Yes,
I
Nirbhaya.
can read. The complete whole, or the supreme absolute truth, is the complete personality of Godhead. Realization of impersonal Brahman or of Paramatma, the Supersoul, is incomplete realization of the absolute complete. The supreme personality of Godhead is Sat Chit Anand Vigraha. Realization of impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature, or his aspect of eternity. And Paramatma realization is realization of his Sat and Chit features, his aspects of eternity and knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat Chitanand, bliss. When one realizes the Supreme Person, he realizes these aspects of the Absolute Truth in their completeness. Vigraha means form. Thus, the complete whole is not formless. If he were formless, or if he were less than his creation in any other way, he would not be complete. The complete whole must contain everything, both within and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in this, so basically, complete whole refers to the supreme absolute truth or the supreme personality of Godhead. So we understand he's perfect, he's infinite, he has no beginning, no end, right? No adi, no ant. He's the absolute truth, and he contains everything within him. He is full of knowledge, so he's omniscient. He has all the potencies and energies and opulences, so he's omnipotent. He is present everywhere at the same time, so he's omnipresent. And these 3 words are used to describe God in almost all the scriptures of this world, whether it's Bible, Quran, any scripture, that God is omniscient, all knowing, all present, omnipresent, and all potent, omnipotent. And he contains everything within him. So everything emanates from him. That Krishna has declared in Bhagavad Gita also, that everything comes from me and without any loss to him. So everything comes from him without any loss to him. And he is beyond our perception. He is unlimited. He is beyond our perception. He's like Sri Isopanishad will go on to describe later, that he is both near and far. He is both inside and outside. Has both form and formless. So in the Nirbhit Prabhu, can you make less noise? Very good. So in this first paragraph, actually Prabhupada is commenting on the personal feature or the form of the Lord. Okay. So now understand this point very, very nicely. Okay. We are a complete whole that comes out of another complete whole. So can you think of an example from this world where one complete whole comes out of another complete whole?
The fire, Agni Mataji.
The what?
Ocean, the water, if we take water, even though it is complete fire, if we take fire from अग्नि प्रज्वल करने के लिए वो अग्नि पूरा ही रहता है, इधर भी पूरा उधर भी पूरा.
Sure. Okay. Yes. Yes. Very nice. So wo bhi pura hai, wo bhi pura, right? I was thinking of a very simple example, something that.
Mataji, baby and the
Yes,
baby.
a mother and a baby, or a mother, parents and a baby, right? A child is a part of them, part and parcel of them. He comes from them, yet he's complete in himself. Is that true? He's complete in himself. He has all the potencies. He has all the same capacity, same ability as the parents. You know? He's complete in himself. So he's also a complete whole has come out of another complete whole. Of course, this is a crude example, but you see, one complete whole has come out of another complete whole without any loss to the original person. The original person who created that other person has no loss or diminution to them. Is that right? So, so now Prabhupada is saying that this original person actually has a form, okay? And we are just separated from them. So we are not able to appreciate their form in this world. It's like a child that's separated from the mother. The child is also complete, the mother is also complete, but maybe the child is just talking to them on the phone. So child thinks, oh, my mother only has a voice. My mother is just a voice. There is no body possible. There is no person to like embrace, to sit in their lap, or to exchange relationships with. It's just a voice. So that aspect, Prabhupada is saying, is the formless aspect that many impersonal people believe in, which is called impersonal Brahman. So no wonder there is impersonal aspect of the Lord also. Okay, the analogy I've used is like the voice of the mother. So there is an impersonal aspect also, but it is only partial realization of the Supreme. Since he is complete and we are complete, the human life is meant to have complete realization of the Supreme Person. Okay, we are sent here to have complete realization of the Supreme Person, not just to have indirect and partial realization. So yes, there is an impersonal Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti or effulgence into which we can merge. But actually, Krishna also has this form which we can serve, which we can exchange relationships with which who has an abode or a home where we need to go back to, and he's not formless. Much like you will tell a child who's separated from his mother, you know, this voice you're talking to on the phone, she's actually a person who lives in a house, and you can go back to her and she will embrace you and she will feed you and you can sit in her lap and she will kiss you. So there is a person who you can serve. You can press her feet and you can serve her. So this person that you're just hearing the voice right now or just getting the letters, there is more to that person. So we need to have complete understanding of this complete whole. That's why look at the beauty of this purport. Prabhupada is giving us the completeness of the Supreme Lord. That what we are being told, we are being fed, is just the incomplete understanding from those people who themselves have only very partial, limited, incomplete understanding of the Lord. But since he's absolute, complete, whole, he's not formless. If he were formless, if he were less than his creation in any way, how could he be complete? So complete whole is not only just the Brahman realization, but also the Paramatma realization, which is within us, and also the Bhagwan, who is a person with the supreme personality, who has a personality, who has qualities, who wants to have a relationship and exchanges, and he has his likes and dislikes. There is a personality, there is a person who has a home. So there is that also, the Bhagwan aspect. And if you want to really understand this complete whole, this Purnam this verse is talking about, then the first thing you need to understand these three aspects of the Supreme Lord: the Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahman is the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence that comes from the body of the Lord. Paramatma is the localized feature of the Lord within us, sitting next to the spirit soul, sitting next to the Jivatma, guiding the Jivatma. It is an all-pervasive feature of the Supreme Lord, that's Paramatma. And then there is a Bhagwan feature of the Lord, that is actually a person, a form. Let's keep reading, and then we'll take some reflections after a few paragraphs. Who wants to read the next one?
I can go.
Yes.
The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies, all of which are as complete as he is. Thus, this phenomenal world is also complete in itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are arranged to produce everything necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. No other unit in the universe need make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. The universe functions on its own time scale, which is fixed by the energy of the complete whole. And when that schedule is completed, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete whole.
Let's read one more paragraph. Can someone read this? Who wants to read the next one?
I can read if
Hare
no one else is
Krishna, I can
available.
read.
Go ahead, please.
All facilities are given to the small complete units, namely the living beings, to enable them to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, and it is obtained after evolving through 84,000, 100,000 species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If in this human life of full consciousness, the living entity does not realize his completeness in relation to the complete whole, he loses the chance to realize his completeness and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature.
Very bold.
Hare
So this these two paragraphs, so now they're focusing on who. So the first was Om Purnam Ada, that how the Supreme Lord is complete. So we understand Supreme Lord's completeness. Now we are learning about Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate, that this is also complete, and from the complete comes another complete. Okay. So what is Prabhupada saying? So we know that Supreme Lord is complete. He has immense potencies. He has so many energies. I hope everybody knows that Lord has many energies. There are superior energy, inferior energies. There is external potency, internal potency, marginal potency. And which potency of Lord do we belong to? Anyone knows? We belong to the marginal. Hari bol. Wonderful, Mataji. Marginal potency of the Lord. So we are neither external nor internal potency. We are the marginal potency. The jivas, the living entities, are the marginal potencies of the Lord. And then there are superior energy, inferior energy, right? So and there are so many other energies. There is bliss-giving potency. There is strength-giving potency. So many potencies are there. But they're all complete in themselves. And that it's the Lord's energies that are maintaining this world. And Lord has equipped this world with complete, like 24 elements are there. All the resources are given for everything, right? There are rains given, there are grains given, there is land which makes grains, there is mountains which make minerals, oceans with so many jewels and minerals itself, and salt and whatnot comes from ocean. And then there is sun, which gives, heat and light, and plants grow, and then plants give everything that we need. So basically everything has been arranged in such a way in this universe. Krishna has made a perfect software so that everything is on, it starts on time, the day starts, and then the night comes, the sun and moon know their function. Moon is giving all the juices to the fruits and vegetables, and then the seasons change, the years change, right? And finally the time comes for annihilation. And after annihilation, there is a certain period during which nothing happens, and then another creation starts. So like that, the creation is put on like this automatic mode by the creator, and it's like a very, very precise, very sophisticated software that, that's why Prabhupada keeps using the word phenomenal, that it's so complete in itself that everything is already implanted into this world for its automatic functioning. Okay, we cannot even imitate it. It's so precise and perfect. So then Prabhupada is saying this line that I want you to understand. No other unit in the universe needs make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. Okay, so the universe is complete. Just like we were talking about the child's example, the child is complete in himself. Comes from the father. Yet we feel very limited. We feel very trapped and bound. So why is that? So Prabhupada is saying you are complete in yourself, but you are trying to make too many extraneous efforts. Okay, you're trying to make too many extra efforts. So you are too much, basically, we are not this body. We know that. Yet we are just catering to this body. Since we are not catering to the complete whole, which is the real self, we are struggling in this world. We have made ourselves limited. It's like a child who goes into a prison, goes into a jailhouse, and just forgets his real house, and he just starts living there in the jailhouse, thinking that this is his permanent home. So we have forgotten our relationship with the supreme whole, and we have forgotten who we are. That the real self is actually complete in itself. We have unlimited potential. We have unlimited consciousness. That's why it's called liberation, because we have to free our consciousness. We have to get freedom from this jailhouse where we are stuck. So, Jessica, I was thinking, we make so many efforts. Like man has gone to moon. Like last year, one of the milestones for India was actually going to the moon. It's the 4th country that landed on the moon. Very, 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 important milestone for our country. And that's good. That's amazing. But we are making all these extraneous efforts, which is good. But also, we are not making any internal efforts at all. We are going into outer space, yes, but we are not going into our inner space. So we have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten that we are a complete whole who is complete, like part and parcel of Krishna. We are Satchidanand Roop, but we are not trying to realize that completeness. And in this effort, we are doing so many things in this world. Moon mission is, let's say, one thing, but then we try to exploit this universe, like making all these extra, factories and things to create all this plastic material and metals and so many extra things that we have decided we need in this life. And so we are cutting down all the plants. So the world that was complete in itself, we have made it limited. Like a child is given the full potential. He has hands, he has arms, he has lower limbs, he has head, face, but he decides to harm himself. So we are harming ourselves. So that's why we are limiting our potential, the completeness, by harming ourselves. This world, which is otherwise complete in itself, which is supposed to be giving us all the resources without too many extraneous efforts, we are harming it. So we are limiting its potential. Right? We are cutting down all the plants, all the forests that we actually need, right? We are, dynamite laga ke we are breaking all these mountains. So many things we are doing unnatural, incompatible, unharmoniously with ourselves and with the with the world that makes it incomplete. So the world was complete in itself. We were complete in ourselves, but by forgetting what the purpose is, that we have to realize our completeness, we have to realize our full consciousness, our full potential. Full potential is waiting. Our Satchidanand Roop, like Krishna, is waiting, but we are harming ourselves. It's like later in Sri Isopanishad, one of the verse will say Atmaja. Atmaja is somebody who destroys themselves. We are causing self-destruction. So we are making too much prayas, too much endeavors in this world, which are not needed actually. So the world is designed in such a way that we could actually realize our full potential. So then in the next paragraph, Prabhupada says that there is a reason why we have these, 8.4 million species through which we evolve in the cycle of birth and death. For this, our teachers give an example. When you go through these 8.4 million species of life, like let's say you were a deer, you were hunted by a tiger in the previous life, you will have so much, you will have that samskara of fear. You will know that this world is not a good place because you went through all these species. You were hunted, you were tortured, you were all the things that happened in previous species to us, so that finally when we come to the human life, we should be able to realize that, okay, enough is enough. I have suffered so much in my previous species that I don't need to suffer anymore. This is it. Human life is meant for self-realization. Let me take this process very sincerely, seriously, with urgency and intensity. So now you will know. But if you don't realize this, even in this human life, you do not realize your full potential, your full consciousness, then you will again go as per the automatic software. You will go into the next species. So the laws are set by Krishna in such a way that you should be able to realize your full completeness, but we waste that time. So Prabhupada says, if in the human life of full consciousness, the living entity does not realize his completeness, then he loses the chance to realize his completeness. You lost the chance, you were given a chance, and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. So now you will again go into the 8.4 million species of birth and death, into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. So this world is designed in such a way that people, ordinary people that have forgotten that they are complete whole beings, Satchidanand Roop, can realize their completeness, their full unlimited consciousness and potential. So we have to use our human life for that. But the world is so perfect, its laws are so perfect that if you do not use this human life, then you will go into the next species, and by the laws of karma, you will get the next species will be decided, and you will suffer or enjoy based on your karma. So laws of karma, much like any other laws of physics, laws of gravity, laws of thermodynamics, all the gross and subtle laws, spiritual laws, are made by Krishna to help us achieve our completeness. But we feel limited, we feel incomplete because we are identifying with body. We are living in an artificial world, incomplete world, which we have made incomplete. So this body that we have acquired is not complete, but we, the real we, are complete. So, but we are identifying with something that is incomplete. So some people, some gurus say that world is actually perfectly imperfect. Some people say, no, world is imperfect. No, world is perfectly imperfect. So you think it is giving you misery? Well, it is designed in such a way that you should get fears and anxieties and miseries in this world. So that's why there are problems, so that you will take shelter of Krishna, and in those few moments you will try to achieve Krishna consciousness. That's your full consciousness, your Krishna consciousness. Anybody wants to share anything before we read a little more? Is this becoming clear? How we have immense potencies and potential, and this human life is meant to achieve that full consciousness. And this world has full potential, full resources given. We just are using them in a wrong way. Who understood this point? Let me see who's hearing. This is a next level reading from Bhagavad Gita, so I hope everybody's able to pay attention and have their books open and reading. I don't think it's something where we can multitask. Yes, Raghu Prabhu, you were sharing something.
Just the thought of prapatti came to me. Prapatti meaning just surrendering. And, like you said, not making external efforts and just surrendering to Lord Krishna, to the Almighty.
Yes, Prabhuji, very good. So yeah, too much extra endeavor, and this will come in next verse about extra endeavor, about greed. Next verse talks about greed, how by being greedy we have destroyed the completeness of this world. You understand that? I think everybody understands that point, right? It is also a very famous um, quotation that there is enough for everybody's need, but there is not enough for even one man's greed. So because of so many people's greed, we have destroyed the world to become so limited. So it feels so limited. But basic needs were all provided by Krishna. All children were given, all his children were given equal and perfect resources. But they decided to fight with each other and to take each other's stuff. Imagine a mother who has 3 kids. So they all had good potential. They all had amazing potential. They were all complete in themselves, but they were eyeing each other's stuff. They decided to exploit each other. They just decided to enjoy on each other's expense. If everybody was given $10, this person decided to take the $5 from that one, and the $5 from the other one, right? So that I would have $20, whereas they just have $5 each. So we're taking each other's stuff. We are taking so much from the mother nature. So we're exploiting it. So the complete whole, we are reducing it to this incompleteness, this limitedness, which by exploitation, by hoarding, by greed, by atyahar, extraneous endeavors, extra endeavors, all this pollution that we have created, right? All this global warming that's coming up. But we have to understand that the purpose of human life, purpose of this world, this is one point that you have to understand. The purpose of this world is to purify us. So whatever is happening in our life, if we think it's unfair, it is meant to purify us. Yes, those things are unfair. They may seem unfair, but yes, they are happening to purify you so that you will take shelter of God. So that you will advance in your consciousness and achieve your full consciousness. So unfair means like a slap given by God to the child. He lafa padega, so he will understand that he need not steal from the other siblings. So there is a very famous saying also. It says, do not make your house on a bridge. Do not make your house on a bridge. So this is just a bridge. This world, it's a perfect bridge. It's a perfect bridge. Okay, it should make you want to run to the other side. But we are dawdling on the bridge, sitting and taking photographs and just and then when the dangers of that bridge come, which it is guarded by many dangers, many guards, many ferocious guards are guarding that bridge, then we say that it's unfair. No, but why are you dawdling on that bridge for so long? You need to move on. This is just a bridge. You need to cross to the other side. So don't just sit and take pictures and just hang around forever on that bridge. No, you need to cross the bridge and get to the other side. So this world is a bridge. It is just meant for us to cross, to get to the other side, which is a complete understanding, complete whole. But we are just hanging out. We have made our house, our home on this bridge. It's like another example is given. This world is like a jail. Okay, this world is like a jail or a hospital, but we are treating it like a hotel. There is a difference, right? Hotel mein kya hota hai? Hotel mein there are many facilities. There are opulent breakfast, lunch, and dinner available, and very soft beds and very nice furniture and everything. Whereas hospital will have everything very drab, and you have to take medicine, and you have to really, everybody just wants to get out of the hospital, get better, and get out. But we have made this hospital or this jailhouse, we're treating it like a hotel. Okay, come and just make your home here. I'm a doctor, so I know this because some people are very difficult. Some people, that do not have homes or do not have very, comforts, that are not fortunate enough to have comfortable homes. For them, the hospital beds are more comfortable. So they're very difficult to discharge because they won't leave the hospital. So we are like that. But we should know that a very opulent mansion is waiting for us. So we need to get out of this hospital. So treat it like a hospital. Take your medicine. This is not a place to enjoy. This is not a place to just sit and dawdle and waste time and relax. And no, you're getting more and more diseased actually. So it's like a patient who's admitted to the hospital. He has diabetes and he starts enjoying more and more sweets and decides, I don't want to take my insulin. No, you will get more sick. So we're getting more and more sicker. And if you decide to waste your time and get more sick, then you will get into the next species of life according to this perfectly imperfect world, which will kick you if you do the wrong things. So this is another a very important understanding, that if you do right things in this world, if you're in mode of goodness, if you do things in satoguna, you will actually get a pat on the back by this world. You will get encouragement. So for example, think about this. If your diet is good, you are eating, in regulated manner, you're drinking, juices and not Coca-Cola and chips and things, nice mode of goodness, sattvic diet, then your body will feel good. You will feel rejuvenated and energized. But if you decide to eat food in tamasic or rajasic gun, then what will happen? Then you will get kicked. Why? You will develop some disease. You will not feel good and bloated, and some sickness will come, something indigestion. So you will know that, okay, I ate, something bad. So the world is designed in such a way that if you do the things in mode of goodness, in the right way, in sattvic way, if you decide, then you will get a pat on the back, encouragement. But if you decide to stray from the laws of this world and do things in mode of ignorance and passion, then you will get quickly kicked, so that you learn your lesson. So you will feel bad immediately. So that's why this world is so complete and wonderful, because the purpose of this world is to purify you, to cure you of your material disease. So that's why there are miseries and problems and punishments plugged into this world as they should be. So that is a perfect mother, right? That is a perfect mother who will slap the child when needed, who will admonish him, who will raise their voice if needed, and also be soft. And so we see there is proper amount of opulences in this world, and there is a proper amount of punishments and problems and miseries as well as in this world. So perfectly imperfect world, which is a complete whole. It's just we have understood the purpose of this world to be wrong. We always thought this place was our home. That's why we thought, oh, दुनिया बनाने वाले क्या तेरे दिन में समाई, क्यों तूने दुनिया बनाई? So we are lamenting. Why? Because we don't know the purpose of this world. This world is not your home. So दुनिया बनाने वाले के मन में ये आई that they need to be purified. They need to achieve their full consciousness. So let me give them some misery, some fearful problems every now and then, so that they will keep seeking my shelter and understand that they are not part of this world, that they are a supreme whole, complete whole, who needs to get out of here. Let's read the last two paragraphs and we'll be finishing with this verse then. Who wants to read this next one? Hema Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, I can read, Mataji. From because, right?
Yes.
Because we do not know that there is a complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being detailed with the complete whole, the misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion. The hand of a body is complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is severed from the body, it may appear like a hand, but it actually has none of the potencies of a hand. Similarly, living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole. And if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them. The completeness of human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are detailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let's read the next one also. Anyone who wants to read? Rekha Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji, I can read. The completeness of human life can be realized only when we engage in the service of complete whole. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. Haribol.
Thank you everyone for reading. So next time, when we are reading, I already want to tell you, maybe also start sharing 2 to 3 lines after reading a paragraph. So let's say Rekha Mataji read this paragraph. Share your understanding of what you understood from that, just 2-3 lines. And let's see what you understand. So this will help you, when you read, try to absorb those points that struck with you the most or that gave you some realization. We'll start doing that from next time. So these last 2 verses, last 2 paragraphs, Prabhupada is saying that we can realize our completeness when we engage with this world in a spiritual way. Okay, since we are spiritual, if we decide to do things materially, we will stay incomplete and unlimited. Okay, but since we are spiritual beings, if we decide to engage with the world in a spiritual way, okay, then like not worry too much about the sensual don't engage too much in sensual indulgence, sensual or mental speculation, sensory enjoyments, and by those type of interactions, material interactions, you will limit yourself. Okay, but by service to the Lord, by spiritual interactions, or even with the world, you interact in a spiritual way, okay, keeping the principles of love, sacrifice, Krishna in center. Then you will be able to achieve your full consciousness, full potential. Think about it. I don't know if any of you has read any kind of motivational book. These are the principles mentioned. They don't mention about God, no doubt, but by taking God out, they still mention these same principles, that you should live a life of love and sacrifice and forgiveness and tolerance and patience, the values that are taught by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, the values that are so dear to Krishna. So here we are saying that do everything for Krishna's pleasure. And of course, Krishna's pleasure means that we keep not ourselves in center, but keep Krishna in center, keep other people in center, keep the greater good in center, keep the eternality in center. Then you will be able to expand your consciousness. Otherwise, if you are just me, and very materially conscious and just my senses and me, kya khaun, kya karu, this is all you are just completely absorbed with. If the purpose of your life is only eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then that means you think you're this body. How can you achieve your complete, whole, unlimited potential? You cannot, because you think you're the body. So somebody who is in this false understanding, how can he achieve his full consciousness? So there is an example that comes, a story that comes, that I like to tell many times. It's like there was a lion cub, okay, lion cub. He got separated from his parents, the lions, okay, and he got mixed up in the crowd of deer, okay, and the deer started bringing him up. So he was brought up by the deer family. So so he would eat what they're eating. He would would not feel very satisfied, because that's not his inherent nature to eat what deers eat, right? Grass. Or he's just hanging out with them, doing the things that they do. But he is a lion cub. He just does not know it. He's forgotten it. He is acting like a deer. So one day, suddenly the lion started chasing the deer. As it happens in a jungle, they started chasing. And he also started running away very fast, very fearful for his life, just like the other deers were. So my question to you is, did he need to be fearful for his life? Did he need to be running away in fear? Did he have the potential to stand and fight with the lions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, right? Would the lions have harmed him?
No.
No. Did he need to feel limited by just eating grass, or could he have been well fed with what lions eat?
Not limited, if he had
Right?
realized his potential.
If he had realized that he was a lion, he never had to worry. He never had to run away from there. He could stand and face the lions. He would potentially, maybe they were his parents and they would have invited him, welcomed him, right? So if you deal with the world in a spiritual way, understand that you are actually the lion and you are thinking I'm deer. Okay, you are behaving like a deer. So that's why you are so fearful in this world. You're living a very anxious, fearful life. You're limiting yourself because you think you are the deer, but you are actually a lion. You belong to the supreme lion. That's what this verse is saying, that that person is a supreme complete whole, supreme lion, and you're also a complete whole. But you not realizing your completeness because you're engaging with this material body, with this material identification that you have developed. So you're limiting yourself, but you have so much potential. So by sense enjoyment, we limit ourselves. But if we serve Krishna, if we keep Krishna in center, we dovetail all our activities towards him, then we understand that we are actually Satchidanand spirit soul. And you feel complete joy, complete knowledge, complete bliss, no fear. That's why, Prabhupada had no fear because all his activities were always dovetailed in Krishna's service. So whatever you have, dovetail in service of Krishna. You like to sing, then sing kirtans. You will feel so much joy, unlimited knowledge. So Sat Chit Anand, the unlimited, eternal, eternity, and Chit, the knowledge, and the Anand, the bliss, and unlimited potentials will be unlocked. So we are currently just artificially limited by our body. That's why it's called liberation, like we say in the but yeah, otherwise we are struggling, and it's said the struggle is real. But we didn't have to struggle. It's an artificial struggle. Okay, we can stop here. Let's take some realizations from people, from everybody, from all the devotees. Anyone wants to share anything? I'll share the verse on the screen again. I think Navya wanted to read. Navya, you want to read the translation again to round up this verse? And please share some points you want to share, everyone.
The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped with as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
Very bold. Okay, let's hear from any devotees that want to share. So what points do you take away from this?
Can I say, I like the point what you said, that deal with the world in a spiritual way, like follow what Krishna's principles are: tolerance, patience, love, sacrifice. So we deal with the world spiritually. I like this point and I would like to work on it. I know it's hard, but slowly we can work on it.
Yes. Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol. Yeah, so this is how we can fully experience, actually. We can right now we are having a very limited experience of ourselves, of the life, of the world, of Krishna. So we've limited everything. So the first point Prabhupada made in this verse is that, first of all, understand the complete person that Krishna is. He's Bhagwan, who will give you, who will reveal himself to you, who will reciprocate with you, who will have a special relationship with you, who has a home and an abode where he's waiting for you. And he will make he'll clear the path for you when you start walking towards him. He'll clear the path. He's a person. So don't limit him. First of all, we limit everything. We limit Krishna by thinking that he's just Brahma Jyoti, some Jyoti we have to merge. No, he's his personality waiting there, our Supreme Father. Okay, and he knows our struggle, and he will help us advance as much as we want to advance. He'll reciprocate accordingly, according to our mood. He'll reciprocate. Then we limit ourselves, thinking that we are this body. Then we limit this world, thinking that, okay, this world is just meant for my enjoyment. So we engage with it in a material way by exploiting it, by just enjoying it, by just keeping ourselves in center. We exploit the world so much. So the world was complete. You were complete. Bhagwan was complete. Your understanding of everything is incomplete. So we are limiting everything. We are limiting Krishna by not understanding him properly. We are limiting ourselves by thinking we are this body, and we are limiting this world by exploiting it and just all this. So that's why we are getting frustrated in this world, because we have limited everything. So we are limiting our full experience that's possible in this world. Okay. Who else wants to share?
I'm reminded of a quote that I want to share with the group. The quote says, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience."
Very bold. Yes, Prabhuji, that's a very wonderful quote. So yeah, see, that's a very big misunderstanding, right? We think that, oh, spiritual activities can be on the side, but actually we just have to live our life spiritually. The whole life needs to be made spiritually. It's not like you do everything else and then this stuff you just do once in a while, once in a blue moon on a Sunday morning, Saturday morning, just 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Itna kyun kar rahe ho? No, because you are a spiritual being. So this is what you need to maximize. You need to do more, and you can do some, human things, so-called human or materialistic things. Life can be peppered with that a little bit, but more spiritual, because that's who you are. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice quote. Who else wants to share? So, and then the other point that we decided was that world is a wonderful, perfect place if you want purification, right? It is not a hotel. It is a hospital, or it is a jailhouse. It is for our reformation, for our transformation, to be rid of the disease, not to enjoy, not just to keep ourselves in center and enjoy with the body, with the senses, and with the mind. That's another point we learned. And yes, Nirbhay Prabhu, please share.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that the point that I like was also um, the one about the lion and lion calm. I've heard that before, but somehow it stuck with me today that we don't need to be fearful. That part is very important, and um, we can apply it very practically in our life, in our daily dealings. It goes along with the point that Rekha Mataji mentioned, that if we realize that we are spiritual beings, then and we deal with the world spiritually, it is just in conjunction with that, that if we really realize that we are spiritual beings, we are not this body, we are the soul, then really we don't need to be afraid, being eternal beings of any little tribulations that come and pass in this life. Hare Krishna.
Very bold. Thank you, Nirbhay Prabhu. Very nice. So in summary, and this is what I want, another thing I want to do next time, if somebody can take up the service, and it can be different people every time, to jot down like 5 to 7 points, bullet points. This is what we learned today from this verse. Okay. So for like, I'm jotting it down. One of the things we also learned, that this life is meant, human life is meant to realize our completeness, understand Lord's completeness. That's one bullet point. Okay, the human life is meant to realize our completeness and understand Lord's completeness. And Lord has given this world and us all the facilities to realize that completeness, that full consciousness. Okay, all the facilities are already given in this world and to us to realize the completeness. Okay, we are just wasting the time or wasting those resources. That's different. But chances are given, facilities are given, resources are given to realize the completeness. Thirdly, that this world is a wonderful, perfect place for our purification, for those that want purification. Everybody else will just be frustrated in this world, but those that want purification and understand that's the purpose of this world will be purified. And when you get to human life, you should be ready for self-realization. After crossing through those 8.6 million species of life, you should be ready for self-realization, and you should work on it with intensity in human life, because you've gone through all the struggle. And the next point, that deal with the world in a spiritual way, with service, with connection to Supreme Lord, who's the complete whole. He always stays complete. He never becomes incomplete or limited. So by connecting ourselves to him, we can also understand our completeness, our full consciousness in this life. So I'll stop there. So 2 things will change next time. We'll keep reading the purports, but everybody please share few lines every time you read that paragraph. And in the end, please someone be ready to share some bullet points. If that's okay, we'll finish. Anybody else has any understandings, realizations? I think this verse is very beautiful. Please try to memorize. Let's recite one last time and we'll finish with that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam eva vashishyate.
Om Purnam
Om Purnamada
Purnam
Purnamidam
Idam Purnat
Purnam
Purnam
Udachyate
Udachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnam
Purnam
Adaya
Adaya
Purnam
Purnam
eva
Eva
vashishyate.
Vashishyate.
Very good. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll stop the call and recording, and we can, whoever wants to chant, we can chant one extra round. One round today. Vanchakalturubhischa kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah gurve gaurachandraya radhikaya tadalaya krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tadbhaktaya namo namah. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Garanga. Shri Isopanishad ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you everyone.